Hi, and welcome to the coverage of Australia's Team Championships for 2014 at Good Games Melbourne. I'm Sam Loy, and this is
I'm
Russell
Russell Cutting.
Cutting.
Hello.
We have round 6 action for you guys right now. So we're going down the stretch here. We have a Swiss Plus 1 tournament, so this means that it's, despite the fact that it would normally be a 6-round tournament, this would be the last round. This is our second last round, but we're cutting to a top 4 and we're getting to the real pointy end of things here.
Yeah, first 3 rounds have sealed, and then our Team Unified Standard pretty much had 2 rounds.
So we've had 2 rounds of that. So third round of Team Unified Standard that we're going into now. We've actually got a bit of an interesting one.
Really?
One of the teams that we're featuring this round is only playing with 2 players.
That's pretty ballsy.
It is pretty ballsy. They're good players, though.
Okay, so that's got to go 2-0, they're fine?
They have to go 2-0 to win this.
Okay.
So we'll have to see them win both feature matches.
Awesome. What's going to happen after they win 2 feature matches?
They might get dropped, but hopefully not.
What are they now?
They're X1 currently.
Oh, so they go X1 and then drop.
So if they go to X1, no, I'm sure they won't drop. So we've got... the wrong name's up on the screen right now, but we've got JP and Anatoly Lightfoot in one team. So two, pro players.
Really good Australian players.
Yeah, really good dudes, really good Australian players from Canberra.
Yeah, well respected. And who's the other team?
The other team is Thomas Rafferty of Team Sneak and Show, and a couple of his mates of his choosing. I believe that I'm not too familiar with, and we'll just grab the team name in a second.
Untested and untried. Rapscallions all.
Rapscallions, yes, indeed.
So who is it? JP on the left?
I think it's Anatoly Lightfoot on the left here.
Right.
And it looks like he's playing an Abzan deck, or is it? No,
it's got blue in it. Swan
got a
Song
Swan
name,
Song.
so I'm not sure what he's doing. Something spicy.
I'm sure he's
Dance versus probably, I'd imagine, blue-white heroic.
Blue-white heroic, or possibly just Jeskai heroic.
I've got a Radical Mystic, so all sorts of colours on that front.
Interesting.
So
a Sylvan Caryatid hits the field against a favoured Hoplite. I'm sure we've seen in other rounds getting quite large.
Yeah, he's gets big pretty quickly with those auras and trick spells, so should be easy to force through that Sylvan Caryatid.
Yeah, 0-3 hexproof there. Normally something of a problem for aggro decks, really doesn't do much against the heroic.
No, it's one guy gets to 3-4 to power within a turn or two and just beats in until it dies or doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely one of the decks that a lot of the teams have been looking at in this format, is the heroic decks.
Yeah, it's really good. It's just got that, it doesn't share many cards with basically any other deck. It doesn't take up much room. It maybe a couple of blue-white fetches, but aside from that, it's just a really strong deck that doesn't have too much crossover in this unified standard event.
Absolutely, and that's worth like a whole lot more than it normally is, right? Like
certainly. I mean, Abzan takes basically a lot of the best cards of the format, so it's one of those default decks, and this blue-white, and then you can just put in a Mardu, put in a mono-red, put in a green-red monsters, and just have this blue-white heroic deck that is more than capable of winning. I mean, it's a tournament staple deck.
Yeah, it's actually quite good. It's been putting up results on its very own, and it just happens to fit this format really well as well.
It's definitely my deck in standard. I love playing it, so
excellent.
Good forte. Seeker of the Way here. Nice little, while not heroic, it sort of has almost pseudo-heroic. Each little cantrip or enchantment pumps it, gives it lifelink.
Yeah, of course, the keyword prowess from Khans of Tarkir block.
Yeah.
And
second best keyword.
The second best keyword, I believe the first best keyword would have to be Delve, right?
Ferocious.
Ferocious?
No, it's definitely Delve.
It's got to be Delve.
But prowess, really good. It's making a lot of headway in a lot of formats, obviously. Monastery, Swift Spear, but here in standard, the Seeker of the Way.
Yeah, I think some of the most powerful draws that we see from these heroic decks involve having both a heroic guy and a prowess guy that doesn't need to be targeted but still benefits from casting the spells.
Yeah, it's got a bit of an anthem effect while just pumping your dudes.
And so it seems that Anatoly Lightfoot, as in typical degenerate fashion, is playing a 4-color deck.
I really hope it's actually a 5-color deck and he assembles the rainbow and just plays Siege Rhinos next.
I mean, he has access to all colors right now of that Caryatid, so.
And Mana Dork for Mana Dork. This one can attack though.
So these guys obviously been going quite well today to be in the position that they are right now.
Certainly, so it can't just be too much fun. But I think that says Satyr Wayfinder I spot as well. So
it's very interested in assembling his mana.
Yes,
and casting the Swan Song.
Yeah, Swan Song here is a key, actually quite a good card against heroic.
It's actually good against
counters the
heroic,
enchantments. I mean, it won't stop the trigger, but it'll stop the really good backbreaking auras that Blue White's prone to playing.
Yeah, stop an Ordeal of Thassa in particular, or as it may be, an aqueous form or something like that that's going to let his creatures dig through.
Certainly, but at the moment, I mean, they're more than enough to just get through these Rattle Claw Mystics 2-1s. But yeah, definitely later on, that Swan Song may come into play.
I do like that song. It's that Swan Song. It's one of my favorite cards from Theros block.
It's
actually,
beautiful.
It's amazing.
And the token is just so good.
I've never been happier to have my spell counted.
Yeah, and you're like, I have a 2/2 flyer.
I know,
Awesome.
and you can't really be angry even when you lose game.
Yeah. You're like, oh, at least I have this bird.
Yeah, it's a nice consolation prize.
Hopefully we see a bit of constellation prize
Yeah, so well put, Mr. Cutting.
Yeah, thank you. Well, with a Satyr Wayfinder, I want to say that there's got to be maybe a Whip of Erebos or something like that uses obviously that card is very...
what I'm hoping for is for a Soul of Theros deck.
Oh, Soul of Theros. That would be amazing. With all the little Rattleclaw Mystics.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that appeared on Magic Online. It was in Abzan colors. Yeah.
I saw the Abzan one. I haven't seen like a red...
I haven't seen a red one yet, but like it's a thing that's existed,
What's the red soul? Soul of Chandelier? That
Soul of Chandelier, yeah. It's not quite as splashy.
No, it doesn't. Not so good with a bunch of mana dorks, but here we see the Pilgrim, which actually haven't seen much action from the blue-white rogue, but this will make sure that there is some action pretty soon. Probably going to fetch out a little Sasra, I'd say.
Yeah, card's obviously very good from M15. Allows you to tutor for an aura from your deck.
Often the Stoneforge Mystic, basically, of these blue-white rogue decks. Gives you a nice little body to block with.
It's sort of like the Stoneforge Mystics, slightly slow cousin.
Sure.
But it does a lot of work in this deck in particular, and we've seen it become a staple in this archetype.
Yeah, when I first saw it in M15, I'm like, that's kind of cute, give some casual players a bit of fun, and then 2 weeks later, Tom Ross is throwing it around a blue-eye rogue. It was like, what is going on here?
Yeah. It did some work in, M15 Limited as well.
Oh, it's really good.
The much-played format by Australians and pretty much no one else.
Yeah.
Given that we had a GP.
Get out the Spectral Ward and you kind of just slump in your seat because that card is unstoppable.
The Spectral Ward plus Heliod's Pilgrim combo, which got Saito to top 8 contention in that tournament, actually. He had 2 Spectral Wards and 3 Heliod's Pilgrims.
I hear that will do things.
Yeah.
Yes,
it was quite good.
But we did see your deal of Sasa, pretty much the best card to search for in this deck, unless you need something else. Like it's the default go-to.
Yep.
Here we see tapping it. Is that a Treasure Cruise?
I hope so.
It's a Treasure Cruise.
It is a Treasure Cruise. It seems
that's what we searched.
It seems that he's insistent on casting the best card in the format.
Yeah.
And who can blame the man?
So we play Satyr Wayfinder to cast Ancestral Recall. This is excellent.
Yeah, it's got a certain amount of synergy. It's better than a Borderland Ranger.
Is that a retraction? Oh, we're seeing Jeskai Ascendancy combo.
So he's playing the combo deck that we saw at the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
Pretty much the last time we saw that deck as well.
Yeah, I tried it for a while. It just kind of fell apart. But
it was a deck that I jumped on very quickly.
I was thinking about playing this for this event, actually.
Oh, really?
But the Heroic deck just seemed better and didn't take up a lot of the good cards. Like, this just takes up so much of the mana base, being a 4-color deck. But I'm excited. If it's come this far, it's got to be half decent.
Yeah,
maybe it was the one that lost and the other 2 guys played doing.
Who's to know, really? It really won't do for now, though, because he has to win this to get through.
Yeah, exactly.
They both have to win.
Well, this is pretty interesting, because obviously Blue Heroic is going to do a ton of pressure, but hasn't really done all that much this game.
So it's the life total 13 to 18.
Yeah, it definitely lets the Heroic deck hopefully do its thing. So, and... Here we see Treasure Cruise, pretty much the best card. Draw 3, 1 mana, for 3 mana in this case, still pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, I will take an extra card off my divination, please.
And it looks like we actually might have the 3rd member of the team has come 10 minutes late, I believe, is the...
So we're getting some news from the deck. Sorry, we'll update you with it as soon as we know for sure. If we can get a little bit of clarification on that, that'd be excellent.
At the only time, Treasure Cruise has drawn 3 cards, but...
As, the blue-white heroic deck looks like it's about to go online and get a little bit silly.
Yeah, it'll often do that. I mean, 2 auras here, if you put 2 Ordeal of Thassa or even Ordeal of Thassa and something else, you can just get it going in 1 turn, which is pretty phenomenal. It looks like there's an Ordeal of Heliod as well, so that would be 10 life and 2 cards.
Of course, the good thing about playing a combo deck is that if your opponent has 1,000,000 life, you can still kill them.
Yeah, it's because you can deal 1,000,001 damage.
1,000,001, or more if you like.
Perhaps more, perhaps close to infinite. But the other way this deck can win is the Altar of the Brood, which I'm more of a fan of, the 1 mana artifact.
Sure,
that mills
mill them out, yeah.
But here we see the Ordeal of Sasa triggering both heroic and prowess. So
Things are starting to get a little nutty here. And
And
here we see the
Swan
Song.
oh, what song! Instead of getting an enchantment to draw 2 cards this turn, it's to get a 2/2 bird with flying, which I'm sure is appreciated by the blue-white heroic
Play
player.
me a tune, please.
Yeah.
That's Swan Song. Alright, so that Ordeal of Sasa obviously doesn't land, and I guess that our team FBLTHP
I believe that's
player.
Flute. It's that homunculus guy from Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see.
It's from the art Totally Lost from Gatecrash, and it's a bit of a fan favorite.
Oh, okay, cool.
And here we see a bird token, not quite the bird token I want to see because it's an enchantment bird token, but it'll have to do.
It will have to do.
It's not the swan we know and love.
You know what? They're all birds in the end.
Don't say that to my brother.
Oh, I'm sorry, I won't. I'll keep my opinion to myself. Please don't listen to this young cutting.
Yeah. Don't tell Young Cutting. He plays Commander Isha as a commander. So
Oh, I see. Well,
he's a
it's
bird
allowed
fiend.
to get a little bit personal when it comes to Commander.
Yeah, definitely. So here we see a Sati Wayfinder and a Defiant Strike in response to draw a card. Not sure.
Getting a little bit more damage in, and I believe another Defiant Strike as well.
This is in response to a block.
So yeah, the blocks have been declared. So the Secret of the Way is getting blocked, and we're trying to get a little bit more damage in with these Defiant Strikes on the favoured Hoplite.
Favorite Hoplite's kind of going off, as it were, for the heroic deck. I mean, just these 1-mana cantrips.
Yeah, it hits for 6 this turn, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
So
Yeah.
it's starting to look like it's do or die this very turn for the combo deck.
Well, the combo deck has got 7 mana in play and a bunch of cards in hand. If it's going to do it, now's the time it would be able to. And just see what they draw. Although we haven't seen a Jeskai Ascendancy yet, and that is the Retraction Helix, which is definitely a part of the combo. So if we saw Jeskai Ascendancy and Retraction Helix, the combo deck may in fact get away with
Yeah,
it.
it definitely has enough life total points left to pay a bunch of
take
life
it
for its mana.
Although I don't think we see. I think we see another Treasure Cruise here, which doesn't seem to me like it's going to get away with it this time.
No.
If we're spending all of our mana just to draw 3 cards, however good that is, I just don't think the Jeskai Ascendancy has been seen this game.
It's possible that he's not quite dead here, though. The Retraction Helix can sort of keep him in the game for an extra turn if everything goes right, but, that's the sort of out you have to play to with this deck.
Yeah, just a quick little unsummon. Secondary mode, actually. Not winning the game, but not losing the game on that card.
Go away.
And he's a Satyr Wayfinder just to finish up. Just some extra mana for next turn if he makes it.
Yeah, so I imagine that Satyr is going to be probably consigned to chump block duty, given the board state, but...
Yeah, especially because we can't cast Retraction Helix and tap the creature this turn. I mean, the Radical Mystic would have to supply the mana, but that Summoning Sick Mystic isn't going to just do it.
Alright, we're seeing a Singing Bell Strike.
That's a pretty good card.
Yeah, it's pretty good now. And it's starting to look like Lethal is coming down upon the combo player. And Blue-White Heroic picks up the first game.
Yeah, not too surprising. I mean, it did take a bit of a slow start, but the Ascendancy combo deck, obviously being combo deck, a bit linear, a bit flimsy, and we didn't see a single Ascendancy there, and that's basically just game over.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to dig a fair way, but, sometimes it's, 30 cards deep into the deck, and
It's just not enough,
It's just
Drawing
not
half
enough.
your deck, not doing it.
Sometimes it just won't get there. Alright, we're going to our next game, which is also Do or Die, on table 2. So we have team... What was it?
I can't actually pronounce it. It's like Flubbit or something.
So that's the Lost in the...
Totally lost. It's
Totally
it's
Lost.
the homunculus.
I've seen that art, the guy with the one big eye.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah,
kinda looking up. Oh, cutie. Everyone loves him.
Oh,
They make dolls and everything. It's a
Really?
thing. Yeah, I don't know why.
It is a thing?
I don't know why.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, versus JP in the Rage, and JP himself wielding this, what's looking like
Probably
a
the
Mardu deck.
rage. Probably the rage.
Is this the Rage, or is this the JP?
I believe it's JP who is raging.
JP, and he has his Rage.
He has his Rage.
Also, okay.
The rage of JP.
The Rage of JP coming to stores near you.
And mono red heroic deck on the other corner. Anger of the Gods. Definitely.
You know what? As we want to say, it's super effective, and
It is
It
super
clears
thin.
up that entire board.
Although we do note that JP is actually a game down here already.
Yeah,
It's
which we
pretty-
quite see quite often off this aggro deck is
Oh,
that
yeah.
they'll be able to get that first game pretty easily.
Played it around 1 and it killed me in about 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Not
sure.
even. Just get one drop, and you're just dead. And lightning strike here for the Seeker.
Yeah, unfortunately for JP, he won't be able to pump his guy
Stabilise,
enough
as it were.
with enough
Yeah.
prowess spells, or spells to trigger prowess, as it were.
And
And
that
he'll
Frenzy Goblin.
take those savage frenzy goblin beats straight to the face.
That
4 to
damage.
14.
Oh dear. And see Rabble Master and Hauling Outburst, which is pretty good against these 1 toughness decks. I mean, Frenzy Goblin will be able to make one of them not block, but the other 2 can definitely throw themselves at the
Under
frenzied brethren.
the mercy of the angriest goblin on the planet.
I'm just gonna, embrace their brother and die together.
Die together in arms. We see an arena athlete hit the board.
Another X1.
Another X1, but an X1 that can stop people blocking if
Fantastic.
it's targeted by enough heroic spells.
Well, again, that's, JP getting frisky here. With
He's
three
getting a
cards.
little bit frisky.
One would think that he might have either another match removal or perhaps another Haunting Outburst, as we see the board inundated with goblins.
Yeah. Today we spell JP in the Rage FRISKY.
Yeah, indeed. Mono red deck going to get a bit of trouble here. I mean, I think I see a Monastery Swift be actually a 1/2 to not die to 1 goblin, but
And we
The
have
fact-
some stand-in soldiers as well.
Now,
Worth mentioning that they are in fact goblins.
yeah, goblin soldiers perhaps.
Goblin soldiers, yeah.
Just well-dressed goblins.
It doesn't really matter what you are when you're a soldier.
Here we are. Here's some less well-dressed goblins. but
Excellent.
Far more.
They have excellent hats, though.
They do have great hats. Monastery Spear, again, 1 mana spell for 3/1/1s, surprisingly effective
Yeah.
against a board of 1/1s.
Indeed, it's the 1/1 mirror here in game 2 of this match.
In the world of 1/1s, the 1/2 is king, and in this case,
the 1/2
struck by lightning.
is
Yeah.
a good lightning rod. And JP seems to have a bit more action in hand, and is able to go a little bit bigger
Rebel Master.
with the Rebel Master, which was called by a lovely Mr. Cunning here.
Thank you. I believe that will add even more goblins to the board, which they now must attack.
It
except,
seems it's been met by a Stoke the Flames using
can't
that
be too
convoke
stoked about
keyword.
that, yeah.
Oh.
But the goblins will get in anyway.
The maximum amount of Stoke that it appears fit.
Looks like our mono red player is actually out of cards, and this is a pretty solid state for the Mardu deck to be in.
6
It's actually
damage
the
a turn.
aggressor. Well,
Yeah.
anytime that you're aggressor against the mono red deck, you got to be pretty happy with yourself.
Absolutely. And, JP is a very well-versed Magic player, and he knows that he needs to put a clock on this deck, because otherwise, it's going to draw enough burn spells to really start putting him within lethal range, especially with these creatures that stop blocking.
Yeah, I suppose so. I've found these mono red decks are a lot to do with the board themselves, just flooding the board really quickly and then finishing out with a couple of Stokes,
Sure.
just 1/1 creatures. So if he has to, just turn on the brakes and not attack with 2 or 3 goblins. He can just change gears and switch back to this mid-range strategy.
Play a good game of who the aggressor is, and as we see, a hammer hand
Met
hitting
by
the
a-
bin after its Frenzy Goblin was pulled out from under it.
Nice little 2-for-1 there for JP, and just continuing to attack with these goblins, not looking for the mono red player. I can imagine he'll even it up here.
Yeah. Should be the last attack here. And they are indeed 6.
There are 6 goblins, 5 coming through, and just 3
Lethal
damage.
damage seems to have been prevented for this turn.
But still 4 little goblins. Red deck's get a top on 1, and that's a mountain.
Alright, and that game is over.
I believe that's just the game. Are we going to a game 3?
So we saw a handshake there, but I believe we're still going to a game 3 here based on the information that we have right now.
Might just be the traditional friendly Australian sportsmanship, shake hands at all costs.
I see.
Oh,
Okay. Apparently we had the wrong game score there, and JP had taken that first game from Mono Red.
fantastic. Will that
So-
keep JP in the Rage alive?
JP in the Rage, 1 match to 1, and 1-0 in matches actually played.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So here they just have to get this Ascendancy deck up and running against the Blue Eye Heroic. I can't say I love the chances, but I'd really like to see it get away with it.
Yeah, I mean it can really come from nowhere, this deck, and it's going to have to win the last 2 games,
Yeah.
but. It does have actual sideboard cards available to it, and
that Bribers Purse.
yeah, Bribers person, yeah,
It actually is quite. You'd
It
be
should be
surprised
quite good
how,
here, right?
how good
Yeah.
that could be because
Yeah.
it's an artifact, so it can't be prevented by
God's willing,
God's
or
willing
whatever.
or a feat of resistance. And tapping down these sort of Voltron style decks, 1 creature a turn,
Yeah.
you can hold on for a surprising amount of time.
All right, and we see a Hero of Eros joining the board on team.
Good stuff from the Blue Eye Heroic. Now all the auras just cost 1 in the deck, and it just
Yeah.
kind of gets to combo.
I can actually see that he has a Briber's Purse, a Retraction Helix, and a Jeskai Ascendancy in
Ah,
hand.
Jeskai Ascendancy. This could be almost a kill right here.
It actually could have been if he'd sequenced this correctly. Oh no, yeah, he's got it because he can untap it with the Briber's Purse, and
Yeah.
he can now go infinite
Um,
on. Yeah, no, he'll find enough cards this way. So we'll see him go through the motion. So right now he's resolving the triggers from Jeskai Ascendancy, and it's going to untap the Retraction Helix. And he's playing the Briber's Purse, which allows him another untap trigger, which will allow him to add 1 mana to his mana pool.
that's right. He just has to go to the Altar of the Brood, and he can mill out his opponent.
Yeah, and he just needs to find the Altar of the Brood, which is presumably still in his deck, but
If it is that iteration, which I would believe it is, by the way he's pointing, gesticulating,
yeah.
and this would just be game on the spot.
So what's going to happen now is that the combo player is going to be able to draw and discard enough times till he finds the card he's looking for, and at which point he gets to play and replay his Briber's Purse infinite times.
You're neglecting the draw and discard at that stage for the Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yeah, choosing not to do it because you don't want to mill yourself out,
No.
and forcing your opponent to mill out their entire deck and passing to their turn to find the fact that you've won.
And unless a blue-white heroic player has an Angel's Grace, I would imagine that he'd be out of this game.
Yeah, and I think that if he casts an Angel's Grace here, he'll probably be out as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
the double-edged sword.
yeah, the double-edged surge of
So here
cheating
we
on
see,
camera.
yeah, cheating on camera. Here we see the Jeskai Ascendancy player actually going through the motions, although we can't see too much of the graveyard, but he is just looking for Altar of the Brood, a 1-mana spell, which he'll be able to cast with the
It looks
Radical
like
Mystic.
we found it here.
Excellent. And so at this stage, the Briber's Purse is in play.
It'll be in hand at the moment, but
That's
the
correct.
Radical Mystic will be untapped.
Yep.
And
Radical Mystic taps for the Altar of the Brood, which will untap the
untap
Radical
it,
Mystic.
and we'll
And
start comboing yet again.
yes.
And this time,
This
not
time
winning.
the cards come from the Blue Eye Heroic player's deck, not the other way around.
And we're seeing a slow movement of people here because of the hands, and just making sure we're getting it right, because there's nothing more embarrassing than comboing off and then realizing that you messed it up somewhere and don't actually win the game.
But here we have all the pieces, and that will be the game. And that's excellent. Moving on to game 3.
On to game 3, and the decider in this Battle of the Titans of JP and the Rage versus
Team.
Team.
I'm giving up.
I'm going to call it Team Cyclops Monkey.
Team Cyclops Monkey? Yeah,
Looks like a
that.
Cyclops Monkey to me.
Hairless Cyclops Monkey.
Yeah, I got nothing against hairless monkeys, so
Oh, fair enough. Then.
yeah, some monkeys are just hairless.
So in the third game, obviously, Blue-White Heroic will be back on the play. How much do you think that's going to affect the clock? Obviously, we saw a turn 3 kill there.
Yeah, I believe that was a turn 3 kill, which is
I've seen it. I've done a turn 3 kill with the deck before. I think it's the earliest it can actually go off.
it can, and it's. Yeah, you need the 3 mana in play to be able to resolve the Jeskai Ascendancy. So it's
And
earliest
the
it kills
Briber's
in,
Purse and the Retraction Helix.
Yeah, it's the most consistent turn it kills in Modern, but in Standard you're very lucky to get it. So I think we would need to see the Blue-White Heroic deck really not interacting and
Coming out the gates hard,
coming out the gates hard, and just trying to get there as fast as possible.
I mean, even the ordeals might be a bit slow. I mean, the first ordeal, yes, but after that, it would have to be this sort of flurry of just the 1-mana cantrips, Defiant Strikes, the God's Willing, and that sort of thing.
Welcome back, guys. We have the full view of everyone right here, and as we can see, there's a bit of a team huddle here, deciding on the correct sideboard strategies and just what the angle of attack they're going to go to for game 3 is.
And as you notice, on the left we have a team of 3, but on the right, just the deadly duo of
JP and Anatoly Lightfoot. And you know what? If you were just going to have a two-player team in this room, they're one of the better ones.
Probably one of the better ones. So here I really want the Jeskai Ascendancy deck to win. I like a underdog story, and more than that, I like a degenerate combo deck. So
I do like degenerate combo decks. They tend to make formats more fun to me. So
well, for you that's playing the degenerate combo deck, maybe not for the opponent.
I like playing around combo as well. That can be fun. And
I suppose so. I mean, the Blue-White Heroic deck is almost a combo deck, so we've
it is as
almost
well.
got a combo on combo.
I don't think we've seen on coverage so far the Jeskai Heroic combo.
Oh, that deck is terrible.
It's excellent in that deck I play.
It's terrible when I
It's,
tried
it's amazing.
playing it.
I combat someone off on turn 3.
I bet you did. Did you
No.
feel like a bad person?
No, I felt
Good.
very happy with
I
myself.
hope so. You should. Looks like we're shuffling out. We have the Jeskai to send the deck. I'm just shuffling each other's decks here, I think.
Yeah, so I'd say the player on the left, Thomas Rafferty, closest on the left, and then Walter Woofer, and I'm not familiar with the last gentleman, which is I'm bad with names, and I really do apologize for that.
And looks like cutting each other's decks,
Yeah.
and that'll be blue-white heroic on the play in this deciding match.
With a very sweet Scourge of
Valkus,
playmat there.
one of my favourite cards in Commander.
One of your favourite Commander cards?
Yeah, well, I play Dragon Reanimator, so you just reanimate him and a bunch of dragons and you win on the spot. It's really funny.
Oh, excellent. What does he actually do?
He's like, whenever he or another dragon comes into play, you get to do damage to target creature or player equal to the number of dragons you control.
Oh, so if you have like a lot of dragons.
So if you like put in 6 dragons at once, you do 36 damage. It's like Valakut, but a dragon.
That's very cool.
It is very cool. You do it with the Ravnica one. Remember the 6/6 whenever a dragon attacks, you get a 6/6 token?
That's
You do it with that and you just exponentially get dragons.
It just sounds really unfair that you get to have so many dragons and no one else does.
Well, then they play that Karthus that steals all my dragons and I lose.
Oh,
but
I see.
It's fun for a while. But
EDH is a big name around here. We all love to talk about EDH, and
yeah, well, I was comparing it to Vintage recently with the.
I think EDH may be a more competitive format than Vintage is.
It's definitely more played.
Certainly
casually.
more played, and
for good reason because Vintage sucks.
Vintage does suck. Anyone who plays Vintage, they're we're not friends anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe there's this guy named Al, but he's dead to me.
Yeah, I've never even heard of him. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
And quick bit of deliberation from both teams as to what hand is good, checking each other out.
Yeah, and
hopefully
organising plans for later.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we had the heroic player on our right, mulliganing to 6, I believe.
Looks like they're deliberating. On the left, we see a couple of Scrylands, which is always pretty good with the Jeskai heroic deck. I see a Treasure Cruise at the top of his grip. Aside from that, I'm not really quite certain.
Yeah, Treasure Cruise is very interesting in this deck as well. It goes up and down in value enormously based on how the game's been playing out. When you actually have the Ascendancy in play, it's excellent,
it's incredible.
But when you don't,
it's not so good.
It's very hard to actually cast.
Favorite Hoplite, pretty much the perfect play from the Jeskai, Blue-Eye heroic deck.
Yeah, it makes me feel that he's quite favoured in this matchup.
Better hop to it.
Yeah.
The Scryland there, not my favourite play. It doesn't let him play a turn to enchantment. Perhaps we have Defiant Strike just to off of that Scry. If it's good, we keep it, draw it. Looks like it is, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a Defiant Strike here.
Yeah, obviously we would prefer an untapped land, but at some point there's just not enough blue-white lands to play. And you know what? If you're going to have to come to play tapped land, there are worse ones.
Yeah, especially when it kind of draws half a card with that Scry.
Absolutely.
And no backup play from the Blue-Eye heroic. Off to a bit of a slow start. Jeskai Ascendancy can hopefully take advantage of this.
The Ascendancy deck seems to have a swan song in hand
the
again.
Swan Song. Didn't do enough last game.
It was a little treacherous, you're right.
A little treacherous, but hopefully Swanee can get him over the line this time. Sing a song of victory. But we're definitely seeing an Ordeal Assassin this turn from the Jeskai, the Blue-Eye heroic. Now you've got me on Jeskai heroic.
Sorry, man. It's all a spectrum between these two decks, really.
Yeah, it's as long as there's like little dudes, pump spells, God's willing.
Yeah, and some amount of Treasure Cruise and
Treasure Cruise is
trying to combo up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Blue-Eye heroic using unhinged lands, the poor man's unglued land. I see.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
I'm personally an unglued fan, especially with these decks.
I'm certainly a poor man because I play Zendikar lands.
Zendikar lands, that is incredibly poor, sir.
I am literally a very poor person.
That works, and I'll forgive you this once.
Yeah.
But
thank you very much.
Thank you. We have the Caryatid on the left, which, if the Jeskai combo player can get a Mountain and a Jeskai Ascendancy, he can potentially get off another one of those cheeky little turn 3 kills, but
yeah,
I'd be pretty surprised. And here's that Ordeal of Thassa, best card in the deck. Gonna attack for 3 this turn.
Really, just that pair of pants that's making Thassa look good all day.
Oh. And that Biden. Have you seen her Biden?
Look, I mean, this is a
It's
family
red.
show.
Red goes with her hair.
It does.
So here we see the Jeskai Ascendance player hopefully going off his turn, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be excellent.
I see a dig through time. I see a looks like we're going to commune with the gods and try to find an Ascendancy. It's a good card.
The combo deck definitely has more time to build.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Not too much time against the heroic deck.
Three damage this turn, going into 4 damage, plus probably more next turn. So he's probably got 1 or 2 more turns to get his act together.
He has whiffed. He's hit the Dragon Mantle, which you
No,
can
it's not
draw
a
a
bad
card.
substitute gift.
Yeah, it'll do. It fills up the graveyard. I mean, that's 4 cards for Treasure Cruise, in which case 5, in fact. After the
It
commune.
does look like he's just not taking a card here. Or is he still resolving the spell?
Well, you get a enchantment or
No, he
creature.
seems to have done
So
No, there's some opportunities in which you can actually you can choose not to take a card
you can decline
from
to
the
take a
pile,
card.
and by doing that you can fuel your delve spells more easily. But
Yeah, but here you might as well. He's a Rattleclaw Mystic, but I feel as though the Dragon Mantle, as it is a cantrip, it will fuel the Treasure Cruise. The 1 mana for the spell equates to 1 mana for the cruise, and it draws an extra card. So
sure. No, it's all options really.
so
At
many
the end
options.
of the day.
That's why I love combat decks like this. It's just drawing cards and doing nothing. You just herp derp a bit and then eventually win.
Or not.
Or just
Or
die.
not. Yeah,
just don't get there. but-
depending on the specific circumstance.
And heroic deck getting in there. That's going to draw 2 cards this turn, restocking the hand. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Defiant Strike yet, but we still time.
Yeah, so I'm starting to wonder what's in this blue-white heroic hand. He's got to have a bunch of action at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the 3 lands, which is more than enough. I mean, the deck is fine on anything more than 2. We could see a backup creature or, there's no point with the God's Willing. There's no interaction, so as to say, there's not too much removal from the heroic side.
Yeah, it's possible that he's playing, he'll still probably be playing some amount of Retraction Helix. He probably still has the full 4 in. And
That's more for the combo, though, with a secondary mode.
Yeah, if you're forcing them to spend those to reset one of your heroic creatures, it's good for you anyway, so.
Oh, exactly. I mean, for the heroic deck, the only thing I can think of from the sideboard, it's got 2 exile, 2 to 3 exile generally, and maybe if it's playing the Glare of Heresy. They're the only sort of sideboard cards. Aside from that, it doesn't have to do too much. Singing Bell Strike here, actually pretty good in this situation. Although Jeskai Ascendancy just can undo all that work at some point or another.
At some point, but for now, that card's a bit of a wizard.
Yeah, stymies the sort of progress of the Jeskai Ascendancy. Probably stop potential Treasure Cruise next turn,
Yeah.
which is good.
Well, there's 5 cards in graveyard there for Anatoly, so he'll be able to Treasure Cruise anyway, but it will stop him from Treasure Cruising and doing a bunch of things. Although that Fetch Land is very good for him right now.
Mainly because it's a foil onslaught one.
Well,
which
I
is
mean,
the prettiest.
They're very, very pretty.
He's even fetching a foil island because you got to keep in theme. But the fetch land again gets the graveyard up to 6 cards now, which
6 cards, which is going
2
to
mana
reduce the
for-
Treasure Cruise or Dig Through Time, as it may be.
dig through time.
Because I
might
believe he's
actually
got
be
one of
better
those in hand as well.
Yeah, in this situation, I actually like dig through time. It sees more cards, and it looks like he's got most of the combo, and it's just a way of finding the
Trying to
last 2
last-
bits he needs.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to note they'll both cost the same.
They will cost the same at this point. Yeah, both 2 mana. Of course, you're forced to spend an extra blue on the Dig Through Time, but I think it would be worth it.
Pretty much. Well,
Just
I mean,
splash out. It's a weekend.
Just splash out. Yeah, he's got plenty of blue mana there. There's Caryatid, Confluence Island, and Yamamaya Coast. Looks like we're just going to see a
Lead off with the Dragon Mantle here,
just
by the look
to
of
see
it.
what's on top.
All these options running through the man on the left's head.
I mean, it's all draw cards, so it's just how many cards do I want to draw? I believe the answer is all of them.
Correct. You passed the quiz. Advanced to the 2nd grade.
When in doubt, draw all the cards.
You went in to draw all the cards, yes.
You might not win, but God, you'll feel good.
Go big or go home. Or do one then the other.
Yeah, hopefully go big and then go home, much like Wolfie Horig.
Wolfie Horig, a man who is not quite so big, but
No,
did
he
go
should be
home
on
last
He
night.
should go in 2.5 men, I think. And it could be 2 men.
Well, I don't know if Rob Blue is a better half man than Wolfie is.
I thought that James Fazzolari was a half man.
Was James South-Larry the half man?
It's pretty small. I
Is
thought
he?
Alan and I decided it was James Fazzolari. We do see
Ah.
Dragon Mantle here. I was going to draw a card, hopefully something good, like an Ascendancy. That'll be
It's a Wooded Foothills, so it
land
looks
has
like...
already been played for the turn, sadly.
Yeah, but that might actually come into play supporting the next elf spell, which
Sure.
gets cast.
And if he's gonna, it looks like he's going to go with the Dig Through Time option, which will leave him holding up that Swan Song.
Yes, a Treacherous Swan.
It's not treacherous, it's lovely.
not treacherous right now, sorry.
It'll be treacherous
apologise.
soon.
It will be treacherous soon?
I believe so.
Okay.
As soon as the spell is cast, it will be betrayed.
That damn swan.
Carrying off by a swan. Instead of giving you a baby, it takes it away.
They're real bastards, aren't they?
It's like the anti-stalk.
The anti-stalk, exactly.
And it looks like it's going to come in for 4. Again, no Defiant Strike, no God's Willing. Oh, we might see some action here. I'd be really going in the aggressive because it is getting in the dangerous realms of this Jeskai combo deck.
I wonder if the blue-white deck is playing with an erase in hand.
Well, you only need to hold up 1 white mana for the erase, and he has 3 available. It looks like we're going to see something here. Probably a Hero of Irios or a Battle-Wise Hoplite. Yeah, it's Battle-Wise Hoplite. The worst card, the worst creature in that deck, pretty much.
It's horrible. It makes me actively depressed every
time.
I've
Do you know
cast
the best
that
part
creature.
about Battle-Wise Hoplite is? People think it's good, and they lightning strike it, and you're like,
Yeah,
yes,
that does
now I
happen
can play my hero.
Right, yes, now I can...
Now I can play a real card.
An actual Magic the Gathering spell.
And here we see a dig through time. Let's do the time warp again. Well, I'm sure we will.
I imagine that he'll... I believe the correct play here is to tap all his mana.
Yeah, tap as much as you can. I mean, you can
Well,
add,
he'll
you can
just
add
be wiping
colorless
us out
with
now.
add colorless with the Yavimaya Coast and not take the damage.
So just working through
He
this
is
right
holding
now.
up Swan Song, which is...
I wonder if he's a little bit worried of something like a gainsay.
Oh,
or
no,
a negate.
it's definitely the old Stubbers.
Oh, stubborn denial.
Oh, Stubbs.
Stubby.
Have you ever been done by a Stubbs?
I have not, but I've done a few people with them.
Have you done
over a short time?
Have you done the alternate mode?
What's the alternate mode?
Force Spike.
Oh, the force spike is really good on curve. So
And they never expect it. And then they play around it forever and you never have Stubbs again.
it's really quite a good spell.
Oh, so good. Ferocious, best mechanic.
Yeah, I think it's a very good piece of design, that one, actually.
I think it's a horrible piece of design.
You don't like it?
It's just win more.
Oh, it's so
It's
good.
not- It's good with the heroic deck, sure, but I don't know.
You know what I like doing? I like winning. You know what I like doing more than winning?
Winning more?
Winning more than winning.
Super winning.
Super winning. Charlie Sheen winning.
Charlie Sheen winning. Well, the dig through time, I imagine... looks like it's resolving.
It looks like it's actually going to resolve.
Big 7. 7 cards. That's a lot to look at.
It's more than
7
6.
cards, pick the pest 2. Ah, Ascendancy, hello. And that looks like a Retraction Helix as well.
He hasn't been forced to use his Swan Song as yet, so he's actually got protection for the combo.
Protection with Swan Song.
See how he goes.
I can but imagine him going for it next turn.
He's got to go for it. He's on 4 life
okay,
now.
he has to go for it. And it looks like he might be able to get away with it. I mean, he's got to counterspell back up. His opponent only has 1 blue mana. God's Willing doesn't work. Defiant Strike doesn't work. Freedom Resistance doesn't work. He's only got 1 Stubbs.
Stubborn Denial plus a raise would actually get him here,
Oh, that's true.
but we'll have to see.
How many cards from the heroic player's hand? Does it have enough? I want it to win. Come on. Combo.
Unbiased reporting here with Russell Cutting.
I am completely biased. I am proud to admit it.
No worries.
Especially when they lands are that good.
You know what? I'm supporting something here. I'm supporting Australian Magic. That's
Well,
what
then
I'm
you should be
I'm barracking
supporting
for.
JP in the Rage.
Am I?
They're the underdog, much like
The
Australia.
underdog? Australia,
Where the
always
dog's down
one-
under.
The dog's down under.
You as a salty sea dog should
I am the
appreciate
salty
that.
sea dog, no matter what hemisphere
From
I
down
happen to be
under.
in. I have no choice in that.
That's true. But, yeah, I hope there's no erase. Plus Stubbs.
Alright. Let's see.
Alright. Jeskai Ascendancy.
Hits play, and the hand gets immediately picked up off the table.
Okay, what are we doing here, boys, is the question.
Do I play this one card that interacts?
2 arrays would do it too.
2 arrays would do it as well.
Here's
Stubborn Denial.
Stubbs. Here comes the Swanee.
Oh, Swanee.
Come on, Swanee. Holding up arrays, of course.
Swanee baby.
And, is he gonna... He's taking 1 either way.
He's got to pay the life, though, because he'll need to block next turn otherwise, so...
Yeah, it's true. What, block the 2-2 fly that he can't block?
Ah, I see, yeah. Well played, Sam. Stubborn Denial. Denied.
Denied. The Stubbs has been denied. And,
Jeskai Ascendancy hits play, as does a bird token.
oh, and I saw a little point in the plains there. Still got this. How you doing? But, this is the last mana, so he's gonna have to tap the creature here, because
He'll get the trigger from the Jeskai Ascendancy either way.
that'll let him untap 2 creatures, which is pretty
Yep,
sick.
so he'll have blockers next turn no matter what.
And I don't see an erase.
I do not see an
And
erase.
that is light to green. Let's see if we can go before we die from our own painlands.
And of course, this should be untapping the
Should be
Rattleclaw
untapping
Mystic
the
as
Rattleclaw
well.
Mystic. Fantastic. Nice.
And a card draw from the Dragon Mantle.
So we've got the Bribus first. Do we have the Retraction Helix?
It seems that we don't quite yet, but he'll be able to loot a few times off casting that for free, and maybe that will get him to his next spell, which happens to be a.
Casting one, you only get the loot once from the Bribus Purse, but
Oh, so he'll get to loot once there, and as soon as he puts cards in the graveyard, he's getting closer and closer to casting that second cruise here.
Sure.
Which is starting to get to the danger zone.
The danger zone.
So you're familiar.
I am familiar with the danger zone. Here you see that. I think Dignitary Timer here again, the better play. He only needs one piece of the puzzle left.
Yeah, it's
That's going to untap all of his guys.
A very powerful Magic the Gathering spell.
And this is basically what it comes down to. Draw and discard first, of course.
Of course.
See an extra card.
We are gentlemen after all.
And tapping another couple of creatures here. And that'll see them untapped once more through the Jeskai Ascendancy.
As well as getting +1/+1 bigger. And it's worth mentioning that we don't actually need to see an Ultra of the Brood for this to be lethal, because that Rattleclaw Mystic can actually get through if he can get a Retraction Helix on the Sylvan Caryatid and bounce the other guys.
That's very true. I go the old alternate mode of the game.
The alternate win condition.
Alternate.
Infinite damage instead of infinite mill.
What would you prefer?
This is why I ended up playing the heroic version of this deck, is because I prefer the infinite damage version.
Infinite damage, I mean...
I'm a classless man at heart.
Yeah, well, then you'd see a Rattleclaw Mystic struck by a Singing Bell, untapped several times by an Ascendancy, finally achieving its, victory. It's fate, as it were.
Yeah, it's been mysticising about this for months, and he's finally going to get there.
Yeah, he was paralysed by that pesky little favoured Hoplite, now he wants revenge. But see the Retraction Helix here, and
that's just the combo.
That'll just be the guy. Is he going to play a second Jeskai Ascendancy here to be some mana?
You know what? I probably would. I think he had some mana floating, so that's fine.
Greed, and I really appreciate a greedy play. Here he's just slow rolling. I mean,
as I say, greed is good.
Greed is good. The second Ascendancy pretty much shores it up, even if he was holding an Erase for... Maybe he's actually still playing around Erase here.
It's quite possible, and you know what? Why not play around everything at this point, if you've got it?
Well, when you've got it, you've got it all. And I think this is what we're going to see here. We see the Retraction Helix.
Targeting the hexproof creature, importantly.
I would hope so, but I'm not sure why he isn't. In response to the trigger, he'll probably take that Rattleclaw Mystic.
Yeah, I imagine so.
I'm going to draw this card first, and drawing 2 this time, thanks to the Jeskai Ascendancy.
Yeah, so
he's doing it at the same time. I believe he has to draw, discard, draw, discard.
Yeah. They are separate triggers, and you'll have to resolve them one at a time.
Shortcutting, while sometimes encouraged, is sometimes illegal.
Yes, it's like, don't scry once, twice to scry 2, which is one I've seen come up a few times.
A scry in hand is worth a game loss.
It's often the thing.
And it looks like the Jeskai Ascendancy play is actually going off here, which
on the very last turn,
I'm impartially happy about.
You're impartially happy about it, and I'm just very surprised at this team, which is just against it all today. It's
2 players.
2 players. One player having I believe, some personal emergency and had to rush off, and they've had to just do it by themselves.
Just battle on.
Just battle on. Just get there. And you know what?
It looks like he's just getting there.
It looks like they're just getting there.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And we have an Astral, don't even know how to pronounce that second word in his hand, which acts as a second Bribus first, but...
Cornucopia.
Cornucopia.
I think you'll find.
Excellent. So, what a strange word. And we're just going to keep going and going and going until we find the Altar of the Brood. And
he'll be producing infinite mana now that he's got 2 Jeskai Ascendancies on board. And infinite bounce as well. He can bounce everything that he wants. He can play everything that he wants.
And infinite damage.
Infinite damage, anything that he wants. And he can also infinite mill him.
So I hope we're going to infinite mill, then attack for infinite damage after infinitely bouncing everything?
I would mill him down to 0 cards and then do infinite damage to him. And then,
right.
if he can get out of that, he probably deserves to win.
Yeah, just pass the turn. Holding up Swan Song.
Gotta have old Swanee.
Gotta have Swanee. He always sees Swan Song being an excellent card.
Swan Song, an often underrated Magic the Gathering card, but nonetheless a very powerful ability.
Weirdly enough, I seem to see more play in Standard than Legacy, which I believe it was kind of designed for.
Yeah, it was earmarked for the Vintage as well, because...
nice 1 mana...
1 mana answer to a bunch of things like Oath of Druids.
Yeah, definitely. But here we see it pulling some weight. 2/2 bird just sitting on the sidelines, cheering on its creator.
All right, so I believe
there's still a bit of contention here.
Yeah, I believe they're in I think
bit of a discussion.
What has to happen in these environments is if you want to do something and you want to go infinite, you have to be able to demonstrate a loop to your opponent.
Sure.
And depending on their familiarity, that may require more or less explaining. It's obviously a combo that has quite a few pieces and tapping and untapping.
Much like eggs used to be.
Much like eggs, yeah. And one of the reasons it's not very popular on Magic Online because you're going to give yourself RSI in your hand by clicking that many times.
And it chews up time. Like
it does chew up time, yeah.
Especially when you can't demonstrate a loop, like in this case. But I don't see why it's not just going through the motions. I mean, it looks like they've got it shored up. Some sort of discussion going on here.
Yep. And
we're just getting an update.
Apparently there is a judge ruling going on the table. Okay, so there's a judge ruling on missing a player at the table.
So it may look like our underdogs are being put to rest. Put down prematurely.
Yeah, we know how we want this to end.
And it looks like
there was either a concession or something else happened. If we could get an update from the desk, that would be amazing.
Well, in my mind, Jeskai Ascendancy was the real winner here.
It definitely won this. It definitely won this match, and these guys definitely went 2-0. And
which is, a huge thing when you got a team of 2.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing to run through there.
Looks like they're just running through the sideboard. Obviously, the Blue Heroic deck bring in those extra Stubborn Denials. Excellent card here.
Not quite good enough on that occasion,
No.
but like the first one, really did make him have that swan song, and that deck only plays 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, exactly. We do see an array from the sideboard.
All right, and so we're just getting an update on this judge ruling right now, and the judge is coming here apparently.
So we'll get back to.
So we'll get back to you with the details. As these boys rectified their 75s. Our famous head judge, the Fry, coming to us right now
to explain
the situation. Okay, we're going to
have a quick break.
And we'll update you on the result of this match at the start of the very next round. Thanks for watching.